So this next question is, can I speak about the experience of oscillating between experiencing periods as pure awareness and then pure awareness / being, and then back into periods of solely the separate self? If I just speak about my experience, I don't experience an oscillating back and forth. That the experience of being pure awareness without definition is always present, and that it's more like an aperture of a camera lens, of a focus. This aperture opening or focusing in through the layers of itself. So when what's happening in life is I'm hanging out with my little beloved nephews, the aperture goes in. The aperture goes in to being Auntie Kristin, which is an identity that these children love and have a relationship with. And yet Auntie Kristin as this identity is also this vast infiniteness. So it's simultaneous. And when teaching is happening, the aperture opens to a larger sense of self that is then present with everyone on the soul level in this energetic container that's filled with guides and everybody, and that is also then present with the people that are sitting in front of their computers or phones or different physical things. So the aperture of Auntie Kristin is has a narrower focus, but it's just as delightful as the aperture of holding space for a energetic classroom. And in each of those, there's the infinite I am, infinite pure awareness that is seamless with the layers that it is playing on. And so in my experience, it's not that there's a going into a separate sense of self solely. That's not my experience. It's more like this lens, this aperture opens or focuses in a more, I don't know what word to use. No, it's not more specific. It's that it's like as Auntie Kristin, it's not that it's even smaller. There's, here, this like when you're tasting ice cream or something that you love, and all your attention goes on to that flavor. Your eyes close and you just want to focus in on the, for me it might be cardamom, right? For me, just to focus on the cardamom in some, Indian flavored ice cream. And so the cardamom isn't small. Is it separate? Is definitely different than the ginger and the milk and the sugar. So it's different, so separate maybe in that way. Unique. Maybe unique is better. And so attention just focuses in on cardamom. Like yum, right? And then maybe opens to the full palette of the ice cream. Milk, sugar, ginger, whatever else is in there. Cinnamon. And then maybe opens to cool ice cream in my mouth on a hot summer day. And then maybe opens to hanging out having ice cream with beautiful friends. So the separate self, it's not separate. It's a uniqueness of focus in an infinite palette. And this feels the same to me as personality, soul, light body, God self, God, however you want to like start naming all these layers of being, cosmos, that the focus goes in, but it's equally expansive. It's equally divine. Like surrendering into the cardamom is an experience of God. That's an experience of totality through this uniqueness. And that's what you are. And that's what you're calling your separate sense of self is. Your separate sense of self is just that, is the universe focusing in on, like cardamom, focusing in on that specificity. And perhaps if you can relate to that as not a problem, then, and maybe you're not referring to it as a problem. A lot of people do. Maybe you're not. But if we understand what's actually happening, then it can loosen our system. You know, in the next inhale, right? Next inhale, exhale, that we don't, there's not a fixation, there's not a repetition that just keeps producing the same experience over and over again. That's like where the nothingness, that eraser, is really valuable. If I focus in on cardamom, I mean, there's maybe I should just stop here if that has helped address the thing. It's like I'm wanting to offer a different energetic relationship to the question, to help open your experience to something else, because the mind isn't, sometimes the mind is the pathway, and sometimes the mind isn't a useful pathway into a deeper opening. So let's just see how this lands with you a little bit, because the part that's saying but me, this thing and this tight thing, is just seeing from that perspective, and so addressing that part isn't so useful, because it's not going to see out of itself. It's just looking through that aperture, where it's the aperture itself is what's wanting to open. And by speaking about these different layers, that might help your system kind of relax, like relax into this larger perspective. And then it's okay having that fluidity go through from focus in on a seeming separate sense of self, on that uniqueness, and then opening back. It's just a movement that's infinitely happening as part of this divine unfolding. So let me know if that's useful, and let's see how that kind of plays out for you.